It's been 84 years.
Yeah, but in all actuality, it's only been about 4 years. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Your man Spoken Reviews. And today, as you can see, we're going to be doing the review for the new Wolverine trailer that just released just this past week on State of Play. And guys, I gotta tell you, I was super excited to finally see this trailer. I know we've been waiting a long time, especially as comic book fans. We could not wait to figure out when they were going to be doing this game. I remember back in 2021 when this teaser trailer was released. I cannot tell you how super excited I was to find out that they were going to be doing a Wolverine game. And not only that, but finding out that Insomniac, the crew that's behind the Marvel Spider-Man games, would be spearheading this game. Now, I know a lot of people are not really happy with Marvel Spider-Man 2, but I definitely enjoyed the game. It was not up to top tier as well as Marvel Spider-Man or even Miles Morales, which you could tell both had their own separate identities, but it still had a great story and a good premise. Some of the things were a little woke here and there, but that did not change the fact that it was pretty cool seeing two Spider-Man on screen using their different styles together. I think if they just used different music for each of them, I think it would have been a lot better. And maybe if they toned down the woke stuff. But outside of that, I did enjoy all three games. And knowing that Marvel's The Wolverine would be tied into these games even made me a little bit more excited as we get to see a different take on the Marvel Universe from a different perspective. Being one of the best X-Men that most Marvel fans really love, Wolverine. And you know what, guys? I really enjoyed this gameplay trailer. It did everything that it needed to do to get the hype train going for me. I was super excited to see it. I actually had to go to work, so I didn't get a chance to watch it until I pulled up to the building. But actually getting to sit down and watch it, I gotta say, they did a great job with this character and giving him the story that he needs. All right, guys, so one of the things we know about Wolverine is he's been a beloved character, right? No one can argue that, right? I mean, listen, this dude has been in multiple movies, played mostly by Hugh Jackman. And if you count movies like X-Men, X-Men 2, X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men Origins, Wolverine, which is, yeah, a small cameo in X-Men First Class. He was a standout character in X-Men Days of Future Past. And he also had the Wolverine film he did, as well as Logan. Man, this one right here is the top tier film here that really did everything it needed to do with Wolverine and made him a great character. And then we finally got a chance to see Hugh Jackman come back one last time, thanks to Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool and Wolverine. And that was an awesome film. It did everything it needed to do with Deadpool and gave Wolverine a nice little closeout while also extending his story. And I mean, nothing is greater than this moment. I tell you, I just about jizzed in my movie theater seat when I saw this scene. My wife was like, damn, you were really excited about him putting that mask on. I was like, well, honey, you have to understand he hasn't worn the mask at all in any of the movies. Just seeing him having on the suit in the trailer was hype enough. And seeing him cut loose with a little bit of bloodlust was even more amazing. I know we saw it in Logan, but seeing it here in Deadpool and the Wolverine, they really did right by it. And I was super excited to see the character. Now, seeing him in his own game, I'm definitely excited to see him play as this character, to see the world the way Logan sees it. Now, one thing about Logan, as we mostly all know, is that he was subject to the Weapon X program. And being through that, he had adamantium coated on his bones, which allows him to sheath out his claws, which now become adamantium. Before they were just bone claws, but because of the adamantium covering his bones, now they come out as claws. And he also has an extensive healing factor, which makes the man well over 200 years old. Okay, and that means the man has been through wars. He has loved and lost. He has lost too much. And that much amount of time makes a man docile, but also makes him a bit of an animal. And even though he's worked alongside the X-Men, sometimes he could be treated as an outcast. Sometimes they don't welcome him. Sometimes they do. But the one thing I have always loved about the Wolverine is that he's always been loyal to the crew. One thing about Logan, even in properties such as the Civil War comics or anything like that, Logan is first and foremost an X-Man first, and he loves his team. He may not say that out loud, but he's always willing to go to bat for them, always willing to back them up in a fight. If there's a fight to go down, you can best believe that Logan is on the front line and he's ready to fight for the people that he cares about. So in this game, it looks like we're going to be following Logan probably on a story between his past and his present, because I can't tell the difference. We do get some settings with Madripoor, the Canadian Rockies, as well as Japan. It seems like maybe he might be dancing between all these locations, and I'm not exactly sure if we're going to a present and past type of thing. It seems like he just has regular clothes on in a couple shots, and it seems like he does have his standard yellow suit, although Insomniac did change that up a little bit and kind of made it yellow and black. It doesn't really bother me at all. I still like the way it looks. I think it's still just going to be a different type of style. I'm pretty sure the game is going to give us different ways of styling the suits. They're probably going to give us multiple suits. You know, Insomniac is really known for that. Now, this game seems like it's going to play a little bit like God of War, right? If you guys played the recent God of War titles, Ragnarok and just God of War, you see we kind of have that over-the-shoulder type of camera work. It looks like it's going to follow that mentality, but it looks like when the combat starts, it looks like you can dance around a little bit more, like the same way that they did with God of War. But it seems like the fighting in this game, I must give credit to the creators. They did a great job of showing Wolverine's brutality, his bloodlust, his just animal-like appearance, even in his eyes. We're going to get around to that in a minute, but they just did a great job of making him stand out as a different type of combat character from Spider-Man. Spider-Man can hold back, but when you get a character like Wolverine, you really cannot pussyfoot around with this character. I think we all know that. All Marvel fans know that. I got to tell you, I was a little worried that they wouldn't really go in with him like that, as I think one of the creators said they were worried about some of the bloodlust and some of the blood splatter. Listen, this character is a lot like Deadpool and a lot like Punisher. You really can't pussyfoot around with this guy. You know, he really goes hard. He doesn't hold back. When he's fighting against someone that he's really trying to take out, Logan always gives his best. As he always says, he's the best he is at what he does, and what he does isn't really nice. And I'm glad the creators did not skip out on what he's capable of. I definitely like the way that the special effects looks for like the healing factor. It looks like he's healing up from a bit of a wound here on his face. You can see it close up a little bit. And it seems like he's having a hard time unsheathing his claws. I don't know if that's going to have something to do with the story of the film. I do know in some semblance of story, Logan starts to lose some of his powers. We did see that in the Logan film. His healing factor isn't just what it was, and his adamantium was actually killing him at the same time keeping him alive. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see if that's the story they're covering here. We also see that he goes up against the enemy known as the Reavers. And if you guys know anything about the Reavers, they actually were in the Logan film as well, but they're human beings that have been upgraded by technology through cybernetics. And it seems like the game is trying to give us the Reavers again to kind of show Wolverine giving that human blood splatter while also kind of holding back and giving us more of that technological kills. So that way it's not just all gore all the time. You're not seeing insides everywhere. It seems like they try to find a little balance where you see a lot of blood splatter, but a little bit more machine inside parts. That way it doesn't look as you're seeing intestines flatter everywhere. But I'm pretty sure that that's what's going to happen in this game. It's just inevitable. We also get Omega Red, guys. It looks like he's going to be a standout antagonist in this game. It looks like he's probably going to get a good up on Logan. Looks like he pins him down and kind of uses his whips and chokes him out with them. I can't wait to see this character. We did see him, a little bit of him in the previous X-Men 97 series. Pretty cool to see Omega Red come back. He's not a character I have a lot of familiarity with, so I'm excited to see a little bit more about him in the game, and I'm probably going to read a little bit more about him as the game comes out. We also get Mystique, guys, and I got to say, she looks good. We know Raven Darkholme is usually part of the Brotherhood of Mutants. Now, here, I'm not exactly sure if she's an antagonist or a protagonist along with Logan. I do want to say that even though Raven is a Brotherhood member, sometimes she has been known to do her own thing. Yeah, we know that she's loyal to Magneto to a fault, but sometimes Raven has been known to go off on her own and accomplish her own goals. We have seen that multiple times. If you haven't watched X-Men Next Evolution, say check it out. You'll see how she changes up a little bit, or just in any of the regular X-Men series, she kind of changes up a little bit. She's not always loyal to Magneto. That's just what it is. Sometimes he's let her down, and sometimes her story just goes off in different directions. So I got to say, Liam McIntyre, who's actually going to be playing Logan, seen some of the behind the scenes with this dude, and he looks like he's going to do a great job. I've seen some of the behind the scenes footage of him, and the guy looks exactly like Logan and talks like him. He even has a little bit of a smile like him. I think he's going to do a really great job as this character. I think he's really going to bring that type of power that we see from Hugh Jackman, and at the same time doing his own spin on it. because I think one of the best things about Logan is that you don't want to just show his anger, right? Usually Logan's the type of guy who really wants to be left alone. Like I said, 200 years, and you lose a lot of your memory. You lose a lot of um, function about things that you used to remember, being in multiple wars, being exposed to so much battle. There's a lot that Logan doesn't always remember, especially since he's been subjected to the Weapon X program. He lost a lot of his memories, and that really tends to hurt him a lot because usually Logan is not really looking for trouble. He usually will find his own little corner of the world and be left alone as much as possible, much like Hulk. However, somebody will usually come around from his past who he doesn't even remember, start talking shit to him, and then he's forced to throw down in a fight. He doesn't go looking for it, but if someone comes looking for a problem with him or with some innocent person, he has no problem unsheathing the calls and smacking some people around. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen in this story. He's probably going to be trying to be off on his own, likely seeking some answers, and then somebody's going to get pissed off at him and try to comfort him. And Logan, he don't back down from anybody. So, all right, guys, so that was my review on the game. I'm super excited about this. I can't wait to see this game come out. I know we're probably not going to get much from it until probably spring of 2026, and then they'll probably give us a little bit more of a deeper dive into what we're going to see. And trust and believe, on fall of 2026, I will be getting this game, and I will be diving into the story of the Wolverine. All right, guys, I've been Unspoken Reviews, and I will catch you guys in the next one, bub. Later.